So Fedmyster is a popular streamer who was part of a group called Offline TV. Now this summer that just went by, he was cancelled by his fellow members, including Pokimane. Well, he has just released a huge Google document completely exposing Pokimane. 25 pages of pure carnage. Oh, I love the smell of drama in the morning. And I'm telling you, this has it all. Intrigue, romance, deceit, manipulation. But this document is so long, I need to shorten it down, make it more digestible for you guys at home to understand. I've read it all, read the whole thing. Feel like I've got a pretty good grasp on it. And you guys can decide for yourself what you think of Fedmyster and Pokimane, because let me tell you, he blows the lid off this thing. Let me read out why. He himself said he made this document. I want to defend myself where possible, giving context to things I felt were necessary for my peace. I'm sober and I'm in therapy. I have learned a lot about myself and my issues. I'm working very hard to address what causes these issues. My relationship with Poki was a lot more complicated than we were close. I didn't try to manipulate our friends to get them to hate Poki. Poki's relationships with just friends was professional, and she used me as a scapegoat for not forming friendships with them. She isolated herself from them. I told some people we had a thing, and I felt I was being honest. However, it was wrong because I broke her trust and privacy. I never tried to get Yvonne fired because of the incident between us, but Poki later does for other reasons. Now, I'm sure a lot of you who are unfamiliar with this situation read these claims and like, what even is he talking about? Don't worry. We're going to go through and explain all of it in this video. A lot of this document is responding to the things Pokimane said in this stream, 30 minutes long, where she says her experiences with Fedmyster, and this document is proving a lot of what she says wrong. And she completely and utterly misrepresents their relationship and leaves out a whole bunch of context that makes him look way worse than he ever should have. Buckle the in. So let's see what Pokimane said about Fed in her stream.
Fed was by far the closest friend I had, like within OTV, and just a very, very close friend to me in general. Albeit having a very, very complicated dynamic, we were super close.
What is it with these phrases in 2020? First, we had entanglement.
And then I got into an entanglement.
And now, complicated dynamic. Good one. Here is just a tease of one of their text exchanges that Fed has leaked. So I got lost in thought. Can you legit hit everything? Fed replies, lost in thought. Yeah, I haven't started, taking care of myself, you know? Fed, I will commence shortly. Peace emoji, more like fist emoji. Lol. Tongue emoji, wet emoji, have fun. Pokimane, I'm still embarrassed by the way, decided I will never close my door again, if you know what I mean. So you're saying I could just walk in right now? I hear you. I don't think you know what I mean then, hee. I think I might have to come in, so you can elaborate. Or what I'm talking about, haha. If you must, literally locked. Oops, debated. That's unfortunate, haha. I feel like I can sense your frustration. Check again. Definitely just friends. Just by this one text, and there's tons more. But clearly, you guys are into each other and weren't just good friends. Which really makes Fed look like an obsessive friend and creep when you tell stories like this without giving any of this context. Something you claimed was one of the biggest problems you had with him.
An incident where we threw a house party, and he knew that there was someone coming to the house party that I was really looking forward to seeing and getting to know. And when that guy came to the house party, or arrived at the party, Fed kind of stuck to him like glue all night. But from my perspective, I was like, that's nice, you know, my close friend and this guy that I want to get to know, like, they're getting along so well. That's really nice to see. Later that night, after the party ended, I texted this guy. And I was like, oh, kind of sucks, like, we didn't get to hang out. And he was like, yeah, you seemed really busy. And I was like, me busy? Like, you and Fed were, you know, 2 peas in a pod all night. And he goes, oh, yeah, like, what's going on with you guys? And I was like, what do you mean, what's going on? And the guy informed me that Fed told him that we were together when we weren't, and that he told the guy not to tell anyone, not to talk to anyone about it, not to talk to me about it. I retroactively asked someone else from kind of the past whether Fed had said something similar to him, and they did. And I very recently, just today, found out that he said the same thing to another guy. And the guy I found out about today was someone else that like I was seeing or wanting to get to know.
So to anyone who watched this months ago, Fed just looks like an overly jealous friend who can't break out the friend zone or something, that is trying to cock block Pokimane and push all these guys away and pretend that they're in some sort of thing. That is what it would look like, because no one knew that they were in a thing. So let us add even more context from Fed. He gives us a lot more background into his and Pokimane's relationship. During the Taiwan trip, Poki and I got really close. A lot of good moments came from that trip. I felt like our honeymoon phase of getting to know someone, and that's what it was. This was the first time we talked and looked at each other differently. We discussed some pretty personal things like work ethic, drive, and dreams. We came back from Taiwan, and that kind of energy between us continued on and off stream. We started to have breakfast, dinner together every day. We became very flirty, especially through text. And he shows more text between them, such as, Pokimane, I saw what you wrote in chat. Made me blushy. Also, these texts I showed at the start of the video of them talking about noshing themselves off. Pokimane sending a text message screenshot of their manager that they both share, who was talking about Poki and Fed, saying, oh my god, you're into it, you're feeling it. With Pokimane sending the shrug emoji. Poki, your eyes, glittery, and you effing look at him like an adoration. Which Pokimane sends those of ... She actively sent that to Fed, screenshotted their chat with, I need our manager to stop. Fed then continues saying, started having occasional sleepovers, and just in general, we're definitely heading in a romantic direction. He shows more text between him and Poki. FML, Q Temmie, sorry she woke you, I just woke up, I'm too hot, gonna sleep in my room. Fed, was going to ask if I could come with, but is okay. Poki, love heart, night, you can come with next time. This is not just a good friend. Like, Pokimane has tried making Fed out to be.
Closest friend I had.
They very clearly had something going on. And we have to continue even more because Fed adds some even more important context by saying April/May 2018, pretty much the same as March, except she was traveling a lot. We texted and FaceTimed a lot. She would send me messages like I miss you and refer to me as honey bun or randomly call me cute, and we would still have sleepovers. He again shows further text from the two of them. Fed, you cute. Fed says, hope your flight is going well. Miss you. Ah, honey bun. I miss you too, Feddy. I'll be back soon. Don't worry. Fed, honey wants to sleep over. That cool with you? Sorry, but not tonight. Tomorrow's a big day as much as I want to sleep over with both honeys. And he explains that Honey is one of his dogs. So she was referring to both of them, but unless she's a complete and utter freak, I'm pretty sure that emoji was meant for Fed. More undeniable proof that they weren't just friends. And this is extremely important. So now, if you remember back to the start of this video, what one of Pokimane's biggest problems with Fed personally was that he was going around and he told some people that him and Poki were like seeing each other or together. Fed goes on to talk about the first incident in which he accidentally told someone. He says, and bear with me, so EDC 2018 came around and I was roommates with Josh. This isn't his name, but for anonymity, we'll just call him Josh. Our Airbnb. Of course, it was pretty obvious to him I was texting Poki a lot, as well as FaceTiming her. He hadn't said a single thing about it yet, and it certainly already looked like something might have been going on to him. At some point, he asked me about us, and I said, there's something going on, yeah. And he didn't believe it, I think. So I asked our manager. Me, Poki, Josh, all share the same manager at the time, and she was well aware of how close me and Poki were. I asked her, you know about me and Poki, right? And she confirmed it. She was also at EDC house with us, so in my mind, I felt like I was being honest, but it was one of my first major mistakes. So now, the situation looks completely different. It isn't a good friend who's going around lying to people about him and Poki being together, as Pokimane has made out in her video.
Like, what's going on with you guys? And I was like, what do you mean, what's going on?
It's a guy who was in a romantic fling or thing with Pokimane and just answered a question honestly. He didn't lie from what I've seen. It seems the only issue was that Pokimane was trying to hide him from other people. This situation, he tells us right now, he got excited and he told a mate. How many of us have told friends things about our romantic lives that we can't wait to tell them. Probably everyone. Now, there are 2 other situations that Pokimane talks about that we are addressing later, but Fed then gives a very interesting insight into Pokimane and her not liking Fed, making it a little bit obvious that they're seeing each other and trying to keep it a secret. She calls out Fed for using the word babe in front of other people's on FaceTime. In the text he shows, she says, "Fed, quick question. Yes, what's up? Are you calling me baby in front of others? No. I'm surprised you're calling me baby at all. Sorry if it bothers you. That's my favourite pet name and it's boyfriend restricted. It's cute, but I worry we be acting too gay. Lamau, you're cute. Sorry, I'll stop. It's okay, just, you're only allowed like 2 a week, like an allowance. Ha ha ha. I'm going to go into fat debt. I'm lucky to have you, someone who accepts me as a whole." This is just like so jarring for me to read. It kind of just comes off as Pokimane saying, "I'm so lucky to have someone that I can tell what to do and will happily keep my secret for me." Anyone watching this video who's in a relationship or likes someone, if this is the kind of vibe they're giving you, run for the hills. And then Fed shows even more texts, even more, so many texts, of Pokimane just completely messing with his head, saying, "I do feel like I need to understand the boy scene a little bit more before being ready to commit. Maybe date around or something. I don't know. Chillin' for now. I do think you are wonderful though, but you know how I feel about it all." Oh, damn. That's cold. "You still want to date around just so I understand correctly. I feel like I should. Damn, alright. Don't you think you should too? As much as I enjoy being with you and as comforting as it is, seems a little rushed after our past. Maybe you've gotten to date around more than me with Shelby and whoever else, but for me, I don't know. And again, taking that step with you is a big deal with work and living sitch. It's really hard for me to figure out what's the right move is, but I don't know, we can sit on it some more. I'm too weak for this convo right now. I don't know, I care about you a lot, so yeah, this hurts to hear. I'm not interested in anyone else. I feel like at home with you. I feel that way with you too, but I want to make sure it's an honest feeling and not a feeling of habit, if that makes sense." Oh, my fucking heart hurts after reading that. God damn. Just completely just wasted by Pokimane in broad daylight in front of everyone. That is something. It's the definition of a mindfuck, and I guarantee you, a lot of you guys watching right now can relate to this. Can relate to someone treating you like this, and how much that can mess with your head. From the text we saw previously, it was all, hunky-dory, and then suddenly out of nowhere, you get someone tell you this because they feel a bit uncomfortable about you calling them babe. Fed then goes on to explain how this on and off again stance from Pokimane affected him. By now you can tell there's a cycle of talking again and then, oh wait, there's a problem. This cycle continued throughout the years, and every time it didn't work out, I think I lost a part of myself. I don't blame him. If that was what was going on and she kept going off and on again, that can really make you doubt yourself. It can make you question why you're not good enough. It can really mess with you mentally. Fed then goes on to address the guy at the party that Pokimane talked about earlier.
There was someone coming to the house party that I was really looking forward to seeing and getting to know.
Where Fed told him that him and Pokimane were in a thing. It's a bit of a doozy, bit of a long one, but we're getting the context and it's good information, so listen up. I'm not sure if his name is ever mentioned in the stream, Pokimane, or if he himself made comments on it. But for now, we'll call this next guy Steve. Anyways, after texting in May, when I was at EDC, we slowed down for a short time, but things would eventually start right back up again. By July, we were back in our on stage, and things were going well. And then I noticed she started playing games with Steve a lot. During this Steve era, I definitely noticed she didn't seem as interested in me, but always kept giving me enough attention to still have her in my mind. I felt like a starved guinea pig, and my cage was unconditional feelings for Pokey, and she would feed me scrapes just enough to keep me alive. Sorry for the image, but that's how it truly felt. At this point, she was never honest with me about how she was really feeling about us. Anyways, Steve ended up coming to a house party in July, and we chatted, played some beer pong, and got to know each other a little. We dominated the beer pong tables. I knew she played games on stream with him a lot, but she never once told me she was interested in getting to know him more. This was never an attempt to keep him from her. We were literally stuck playing beer pong for half the night because we kept winning. Of course, I think I knew he was eventually going to ask the question, and lo and behold, he did. So, is Pokey seeing anyone right now? You would think I learned from last time, her. Nope. I said, there's sort of something going on between us, and then I followed up with, but do your thing, implying that he should still go for it. I know for a fact I said this because I almost instantaneously felt bad for saying the first part. In Pokey's stream, she claims, but I told Steve to not tell anyone I said or talk about it at all.
He told the guy not to tell anyone not to talk to anyone about it, not to talk to me about it.
This is 100% false. I know what I said. Anyways, he brought my conflicting message up to her. She was furious that I made it seem like we were a thing. Again, I felt like I was being honest. Things were super complicated between us. Him and Pokimane were on again, as he likes to say. And so he told this person that they were having a thing or seeing each other. That is the full context, not the context that Pokimane provided. Pokimane said it was just a good friend saying it.
I was like, oh, like, that's nice, you know, my close friend and this guy that I want to get to know, like, they're getting along so well. That's really nice to see.
That is outrageous. That is a ton of context left out of a very serious situation because it's blown up to ruin this man's career. I'm very curious to know, Pokimane, why you left out all this context and why you left out all this very relevant information. I know it's private, but once you start airing stuff like this online, you better make sure you cover all the bases and don't leave out the main context of it all. Apparently, according to Fed, she was still stringing him along and gets mad at him because he told another guy at a party. Word of advice for you, Pokimane, if this is actually what happened, maybe don't have two blokes on the go at once and you won't run into this problem. Fed getting blamed for betraying her trust when she is trying to have her cake and eat it is absurd to me. Absolutely absurd. And now you guys have more context to this story. I bet this clip...
Oh, yeah, like, what's going on with you guys? And I was like, what do you mean, what's going on? And the guy informed me that Fed told him that we were together when we weren't.
Sounds a hell of a lot different to when you first heard it at the start of this video. Fed then goes on to claim that Pokimane apparently flat out lied about the third guy that Pokimane allegedly found out that day. Fed told that him and Pokimane were seeing each other.
And I very recently, just today, found out that he said the same thing to another guy. And the guy I found out about today was someone else that, like, I was seeing or wanting to get to know.
I never said to any other guy or person. In her stream, she claims that I had told another guy. I know who she is referring to because she texted me the day she did this stream that she reached out to him. I've only spoken to John, we'll just call him that, once ever, and that was in passing at a sponsored Godzilla debut where I went with Pokey. The only thing we ever talked about was his vlog equipment and camera. We never once talked about my relationship with Pokey. He might have deduced that we could have been seeing each other because we came together, sat next to each other in the movie theatre, but I never said a thing about us to him. I'm fine with taking responsibility and accountability for the things I've done, but I want to be judged on the truth, not lies. I mean, it's pretty damning, everything so far that Fed has showed about Pokimane, and he has owned up and taken accountability for his actions and past allegations against him, which leads me to believe him more on this than Pokimane, since she left out all that context. They literally have texts talking about whether they should make it official, and Pokimane plays him off as a
close friend.
I can't. Pokimane did him so dirty.
I never wanted to make Fed look bad to other people.
Yeah, I'm going to have to tap X on that one. Massive doubt. Now, another huge accusation that Pokimane accuses Fed of is that he was the one who tried to get Yvonne, another member, kicked out of offline TV.
Put a huge emphasis on this. The way he shit-talked Yvonne and Lily to me and others, particularly, I will just recount my experience, is so frustrating knowing what happened between them. The Yvonne incident happened and Fed would start talking to me. I'm so sorry for being emotional. He would talk to me about how Yvonne was lazy and not working enough and playing League all the time. And I was concerned. And he would say, oh, she like won't work on OTV stuff with me or brainstorm.
Well, in text that Fed show with Pokimane, it seems that she seemed to be the one who didn't want Yvonne around. Firstly, she sends text to Fed between her and Lily, another offline TV member, where she says to her, quarantine has made it very apparent that offline TV isn't really lead or prioritized by anyone, I guess, and I don't mean like talent doesn't care about it because our job is to be talent, and I know Fed is partial talent, so he is focused on streaming, and it also made me realize Yvonne is like 90% a content creator now, which is great for her, if that makes her happy, for real. But also, offline TV is left in the dust a little. Then he shows text from Pokimane to him about Yvonne. saying, when I really thought about it, like, why did we hire Amanda when Yvonne is supposed to be Amanda but in the house? Fed, yeah, I feel you on that, to be honest. Though I thought you were cool with her going the route we moved. Like, she started her YouTube and everything because you and us were cool with it, remember? Seemingly defending Yvonne as a content creator and the decisions they made collectively. Pokimane goes on to say, no. We agreed, like, content creator was not the route, but she likes to stream on the side. But offline TV is the main thing. But now it's like sponsor deals, YouTube channel, etc. It's very weird in my opinion. So I think we need to get together and make some solid decisions as a group. Or else the decisions will force themselves onto us. Down the road, for example. If we got someone to help manage, what happens to Yvonne? Isn't that a weird thought? What? Pokimane, how are you going to go on stream and act like this?
The way he shit-talked Yvonne and Lily to me.
When you're clearly pushing for her to get fired or at least replaced in these messages. In the most passive-aggressive way possible too, might add, which I'm not surprised. She is one of the most passive-aggressive twats in the industry. There's more. Had a long talk with Yvonne. Pokey, update me. I made a big decision as well. Yvonne wants to move out, still manage offline TV and still stream in League. Questioned. Yvonne wants to move out and still manage offline TV and still stream in League? I don't get that. Best of all worlds wasn't an option. And then she goes on to say, I'm okay with that, sorta. I don't know, it just rubs me the wrong way. She got lazy, so she's gonna move out and just take care of the offline TV stuff she wants to do, lol.
He would talk to me about how Yvonne was lazy.
It's like we're working around her. For me, it's like, okay, but let's look for better people. If a biz dev comes in and wants to do what Yvonne does on top of everything else, I must say yes. That's my ideal. Let's play that clip one more time for good measure.
The way he shit-talked Yvonne and Lily to me.
Now, is there a situation where Fed might have been saying stuff about Yvonne behind her back too? Sure. But, Pokimane, why are you sitting there making yourself out to be this innocent uwu poggers girl when you're literally chatting shit about her behind her back and twice in these two separate occasions pushing for her to get replaced? I was honestly in shock when I read this today. I've heard a lot about Fedmyster and the situation he was in, and I went into this document thinking he was going to chat a lot of bollocks, but the more I read, the more it became apparent how his side of the story had been twisted a ton and a lot of context left out by Pokimane. He doesn't go after the two other girls who made claims against him. He fully acknowledges them and their claims. But specifically, this video and what he's talking about is Pokimane. Pokimane, as we all know, has very much struggled with taking accountability because she has such a fragile ego. Pokimane, you have a lot to answer for here. You have a lot to answer for as why you left out so much context, why you made yourself out to be innocent about the whole Yvonne situation, as if you weren't pushing for her to get fired like we saw. From this situation, from what I've seen, and the real Pokimane, because we do get a glimpse into the real Pokimane through these texts, she seems to be nasty, manipulative, self-centered, and someone I just would never want to be around. The original Google Doc is in the description down below. Check it out. Look at it. There's a lot more stuff. There's even more screenshots I didn't include. That's how stacked this document is. I very much encourage people, if you got to this part of the video, to go and read it, but not before you leave a like on this video. If you agreed with me, if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and spread this information to everyone. Spread it around, because people need to see Fed's side of the story. Subscribe right now if you made it this far. If you're here right now in the video, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps out, helps the channel, and if you enjoyed the video, it'll be more like this. All my socials and the links down below. Follow my Instagram, follow my Twitter. Hit me up on either of them. I reply to everyone. My DMs are always open. And yeah, till next time, fuck off.